what's going on, boys and girls? We're here with another reaction video. So I'm gonna be reacting to, as you can tell by the title, Proton, the Trojan Horse of Linux Gaming. Mark Yates. I've already done 3 of your videos, dude. How much more do I have to rag on? I'm hoping this one's good. Just looking at your up-down ratio on your votes, 1 to 12 is not a good result. It's worse than your last one. So let's roll into it and find out what you have to actually talk about this time. I'm hoping there are good points in here. Find out.
Good evening, YouTube. This is Mark Yates, and today's topic is Proton by Steam and the effects of it. Now, I've heard a lot of overwhelmingly positive remarks given on Proton by Steam, and to be honest, I've heard things like, this will bring over masses of Linux, edit go, this will bring over many Windows.
Just an editing tip. If you're gonna do that, edit go is not the way to do it. Because you can look at the sound waveforms and notice the spike that's clipping. Just recommendation.
Gamers to the Linux platform and the Linux gaming scene, and this is overwhelmingly positive. This will encourage developers to take advantage of Proton and make more titles available on Steam, and all sorts of positive remarks that are overwhelmingly positive. The problem I see with that is that it's bullshit. All this is a way to dissuade developers from developing for Linux natively.
This does not dissuade developers from developing a fucking application natively. This is for those development houses that are fucking morons and don't understand that different platform has different limitations and technology implementations. Example, this is why places like Feral do so good, because they actually understand that you have to get down and dirty and you have to basically design your game from the ground up to be cross-platform. This is the biggest problem with prior gen consoles like the PS3 and the 360. You had the 360 running on, DX, DirectX, whatever version, and then you had the PS3 running on a weird version of like OpenGL ES or something. Different architectures, so cross-platform development was a whole lot different. And that's not even getting into different architectures and PowerPC versus Cell and any of that stuff. Your game has to be designed platform agnostic. Don't rely on platform tools on one specific platform. That's the problem. This allows developers who are not familiar with a platform to potentially come into a market they are not normally in. And from a business perspective, that is good.
A Linux user and an enthusiast, a Linux enthusiast, I see it as a cop-out, a Trojan horse. Why? How is it a Trojan horse? How is it not? Essentially, by definition, a Trojan horse is a curse masquerading as a gift. It's a gift given that ends up hurting the receiving side. And
Trojan horse is a false gift. It's a gift it's something harmful masquerading as helpful is what you're trying to say. And I call bullshit on that. I think you're grasping at fucking straws right now, honestly. I'm not going to rant. I'm not going to rave about it. I'm just going to say you're wrong. If you want to look at Trojan horses, just look at Microsoft back in the 90s. That's Trojan horses. Extend, and the three X's from Microsoft was or three E's. Embrace, extend, exterminate. Basically, is what they were doing, and they got nailed on that, as they should have. So, at the end of the day, I think you're grasping right now, there, buddy.
I think it's exactly what that is. Proton is nothing more than a Trojan horse, a cop-out. Why can't we just continue encouraging developers to develop games natively for Linux?
We can't encourage that if we can't get them willingly to come to the fucking platform. You want to make the lowest barrier to fucking entry. It's really that simple.
And for those developers that don't want to develop for Linux, don't play their games. No tucks, no bucks.
The whole no tucks, no bucks thing is just so dumb to me. I don't go to PlayStation 4 expecting Xbox games. I don't go to Xbox expecting fucking PS4 games that are exclusive. So that is about as dumb as you can freaking get.
We should have some balls in this community. We need great big balls to make a difference in this world.
It's not the lack of balls, as you say. It's the lack of developers willing to grow a pair of their own balls and actually look at the platform or embrace other languages, other technologies that might be available to them on different platforms, but they lock themselves into a platform because they don't have a pair of balls themselves. And that's okay. Maybe they don't have the expertise, maybe they don't have the knowledge, and people with that knowledge is a limited resource. Let's be honest. It's all about resources, and everything has a limit in how many people can do and what they know and all this other stuff. And that's something that I think a lot of people tend to forget on the Linux end of things.
And I just think, and you think I'm being kidding, I'm not. I'm being honest. I believe in what Richard Stallman stated when he said proprietary or paid for software. You can't. We do not know what is contained in these proprietary bits.
I'm calling Stallman. I'm only going to say one thing about Stallman. You can have one great idea and still be a dumbass. Look at his position on a lot of other things. Just because you have one great idea doesn't make you the most intelligent person in the fucking building.
It could be malware downloaded and installed in the background in order to spy on you and track all sorts of user data.
Better not add that PPA then, because you're trusting that it's a trusted source. I'm trusting when I go to Steam or GOG or Itch or any of these other platforms that guess what? That they are serving the customer the best way they possibly can, because their whole MO should be fucking customer service. Shitty experiences mean less bucks. You want to talk no tucks, no tucks, no bucks. No good service equals no good money for you, which means no good business, which means your business goes bye-bye.
That's not good. How can we trust that Steam is not going to turn this open source Proton project? I do realize it's open source. Free and libre open source software. FLOSS, or FOSS, if you will. How long is it, if this becomes a huge success, will it be for Steam by Valve Corporation to turn this into a proprietary exclusive to Steam platform only project?
DXVK is its own project, FYI. Wine is its own project. Proton, I believe, is on GitLab or GitHub, wherever the hell they posted it. So all the work that Codeweavers does. So you want to rag on Valve, you have to rag on Codeweavers too. And they're one of the biggest contributors to fucking Wine. So, and Valve open sourced it. Like all this work that they've done, it's open source. Proton is open source. It is floss, whatever you want to call it. GOG can take it and incorporate it into GOG Galaxy if they want. Ubisoft can incorporate it into Uplay. They're not going to, but they have that fucking ability. It is on the other companies to take what has been out there now and do what they will with it. It is not just, and if Valve decides to make it exclusive to Steam, that's on the other people. You take Lutris as an example. They can incorporate this if they wanted to in their front end. Well, I don't fucking know, but the simple matter is anybody can take this right now and do what they will with it. Whether or not they do is up to those individuals and those companies. So if they're not going to jump on top of it, that's their own damn fault, and they're making a bad business decision there.
Honestly, think they're going to share this project with other platforms such as Uplay by Ubisoft or EA Sports' own Origins? No, highly doubtful. So, knowing Valve Corporation's history, I think at some point it is a smart business move to lock this down, make it proprietary, and make it to where you can only access this on Steam. Therefore,
I'm just going to be blunt. Valve has done the complete fucking opposite of all of that. TF2 was originally a game that was pay for access. They went free to play. Entire game, free to play. All the modes, all the stuff. They have some cosmetics and fucking hats and shit. But the game's free. They went and have done Dota 2 as a free to play. They have done a lot of stuff where yes, it is about the bottom line. You can't take that away. While on the same note, to say that they've locked down stuff is just a bunch of bull. Look at all the graphics back-end work that they've done in Linux. You can call it a stopgap to make Microsoft a little more palatable to negotiation, shall we say. But at the end of the day, we cannot discredit the work that they have helped put into the ecosystem overall that we have now. Because I remember when graphic drivers were abysmal. People want to complain about tearing and like the AMD Radeon graphics. Try running an ATI Radeon graphics back in the day. Your desktop had tearing to no end. So you're grasping at straws. Valve has done more for the back end and the side end and for developers than a lot of companies have, specifically around graphics and the user experience that make it for a better overall ecosystem for us to enjoy these fucking games.
developers' profits are increased by going to the Steam platform because that is where Proton is, and it's nowhere else to be found or had.
Okay, two things. They go to Steam because, yes, it is the biggest fucking storefront. You're going to want to be in the biggest fucking storefront. It is on the other platforms to take the open source code that is freely available and integrate it into their platform. It's not Valve's responsibility. If the other companies don't want to take and run with it, that's their own goddamn fault. Not Valve. So I think that that's a cheap argument.
Or used. So I think it's an increase in profits by Steam and for developers, game developers nationwide who are struggling from reduced sales because people don't feel that it's worth $60 for a video game. I believe it is. I won't get into that now, but I just think it's a Trojan horse, guys. I think ultimately this dissuades developers from ever developing natively for Linux for gaming.
And again, I think you're fucking wrong. It's for developers who don't have the resources, those who are moron, and I'll be blunt, those who solely develop on one platform are moronic to begin with. If you build as a cross-platform, it's a different story. Now, you can say your expertise is in Windows, you can say your expertise is yada yada, whatever. But I think it's moronic to develop only solely on one platform and not try to have the widest gambit covered and the spectrum for business. So to me, I think it's dumb not to develop cross-platformly. So again, I still think you're wrong though. As far as the $60 thing, newsflash, not all games are fucking $60. Just gonna say. But really, you're fucking grasping the straws here, dude. Like, legit. And like, some of these points are not really points. They're just opinions and what ifs. This is like a One Duke video almost. And I wouldn't and don't take that as a fucking compliment. That is meant as an insult.
Because now they have a cop-out. They have an easy way. Proton. And it's just too easy and too convenient and too enticing. Remember, Satan masquerades himself as an angel of light. Now that may be a bit intense, but just watch out.
Did you seriously just... Oh, God. So then what's the pedophile... never mind. I'm not going there. Yeah, and Stallman's fucking Jesus. Note the sarcasm there. Legitly, give me a break. Yes, it's a business decision. That's all these decisions ever fucking are. Open source is run by business. Get over it. This is not a fucking free love hippie movement. This is about being a better way to develop is the argument. Now you can argue Floss and Libre, software and all the other crap. I just want shit to work. At the end of the day, if it's a better development model, fine, whatever. I think you are legitly grasping at fucking straws. So this video is... I'm going to give you the last bit just to see what else you might fucking say. But right now, dude, this is straight up Lunduke territory and what ifs and bullshit.
And you can wait and see what this does to the Linux gaming community. I don't think it's going to be a good thing. I think ultimately you'll have less people in the end game playing games on Linux. You ask how? Well, because developers will pull their games from Linux development, and their next releases will be, the new release titles will be Proton only.
Yeah, newsflash, fucking Proton is open fucking source. It is up to the other platforms to implement this and use it. Whether or not they do is on them, not Valve. They can take the work from, DXVK, and they can take the work from Codeweavers and Wine and Play on Linux and Lutris and all this other stuff that is fucking open source and actually make it usable on their platform if they decide to. If they don't, that is not Valve's fucking problem. That is the other company's fucking problem, which you don't seem to fucking understand. Valve cannot make other companies use this. That's not how OSS works. Or sorry, FOSS, open source software, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, you're grasping at fucking straws. This is so Lunduke. Like, I'm trying to be nice here, but this video is straight up right now is what ifs and hypotheticals, and it's bullshit garbage. Like, there's nothing factual here. This is just an opinion piece, which opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got two of them. It just depends where it comes out.
And if the games don't work well in Proton, you're right back to Windows. So I don't think it's a good thing. And in the end game, I hope I'm very wrong. But for what it's worth, this has been Proton Project by Steam by Valve Corporation. If you like this video, like it up.
Proton by Valve. Proton Project by Valve. Not Proton Project by Steam by Valve Corporation. If you're going to say that, it's Proton Project for Steam by Valve Corporation. Dear Lord.
Subscribe if you want to see more. Feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know I'm crazy or I'm spot on or a visionary. Whatever you like, whatever suits you.
I'm not going to call you crazy. I'm not going to call you a visionary. And I'm not going to say you're right. I think this is asinine. I think this is hypothetical bullshit. It's like a One Duke video, but I'm just not as angry. I find that intriguing, though. Again, I think it's all hypotheticals and hyperbole, and you're just looking for stuff. And it's all opinion. There's no facts to back this up. Like, you know, it's bullshit. Like, I know bullshit. You know, hey, if this is your opinion, awesome. You know, that's your take on it. But if you're looking at this from a factual point of view, you are so fucking wrong, given the track record of what Valve has done on the back end and then on the front end to help developers, Linux, and gaming on Linux. You're just wrong. So, other than that, I'm not going to give the last 8 seconds. It's just a sign off. So, you guys know what to do. Am I right or am I wrong? But honestly, I think this video is basically hyperbole and bullshit and quite honestly, shit. But you guys know what to do. Forget to subscribe. Peace.